Okay, so one of the first things I did was redesign this wall for the office. One of the things I needed to do was I first needed to declutter. I had a huge mess in here of just a bunch of unfinished projects and just stacks of things. And so cleared up this wall, installed these shelves just using some metal PVC pipes to create the shelves, and then just some pine boards for this time just to create a sense of professionalism and my family, and just the essential books. These are books that I reread, hold something special in my life, and so between that, just a few little knickknacks kind of just makes the space a little more personal. So when I enter, I got a little personal flair, but not too much where it's cluttered. So I've spent the last quite some time just decluttering this office. So this is where we started. This is my first kind of install overhaul, was getting this up and running. You can see I still need to redo all my outlets to white to match the walls and the trim that I've installed, but that's coming. So first part there, organization, professional look, and just making life a little more structured and relevant. So the next thing we did was I installed this whiteboard. I had this fairly cheap, inexpensive whiteboard that was in my makerspace. I've got a space here in the basement where I do a lot of my projects and build. It was just sitting, laying against the wall. My daughter uses it for her pretend school upstairs, and so we brought it down. I installed it into the wall. My wife's a junior high math teacher, and so this is a place for us to come together. In this case, we were trying to just help map out a workflow for her and her students, and for her as a teacher and our team, making this work. So we needed a place where we can brainstorm. Additionally, this is where we're going to do some online learning, where we can set up a camera when we go to live stream, or we create recordings where we can do work on a whiteboard, just like you would do in your classroom from time to time. And so we've just created a space here that's going to be helpful, and even beyond the remote learning, right? I can use this for quotes, for setting my own goals and creating monthly calendars. So while it's going to be very helpful for the remote teaching and learning, it's also going to be very helpful in terms of productivity, even when we move back to normalcy or whatever that might be. I'm not going to spend forever on this, but I did build a fairly inexpensive PVC and some scrap wood green screen. This allows me to set this up behind me. It's very lightweight, it's portable. This is just a green bed sheet, PVC, and like I said, some scrap trim boards that allow me to put it behind me when I'm recording videos, if I'm doing some demos, and all the Zoom calls help with virtual backgrounds. It just makes things look clean and crisp. And so having this, I built it tall enough where I could stand if I need to do anything else with it. But this is here. It's easy and nice to get it put away right by the curtain itself, but I have it available and able to use. I will eventually add caster wheels to this. Just haven't got around to it. I haven't had the desire to install those yet, but that'll make it even easier to wheel around here in the office. I'm just sharing this here in the sense that you can see that everything's a work in progress. So I had two huge bookshelves. I started about a year ago, probably with 1,000+ books, and I got it down to several hundred. I've now gone through and knocked it down to what you saw on the shelf earlier, and then these books. So one of my bookshelves was a to be read bookshelf. All these books I purchased to read, and then clearly you can see time gets away. It probably happens to all of us. So what I'm doing now, especially during quarantine, is reading these books, highlighting, making notes. I have a whole entire Evernote process, which I'll share at some point, a future episode. And if the book is really great and riveting, it really compels me, something I want to read again, then I will add it to the shelf that you saw earlier. Otherwise, I will capture my notes, my thoughts, my ideas, and then I will either sell it, donate it, or if it's in really bad shape, I have a couple books where my bulldog has chewed it all up, I'll just recycle it. So this here is my learning corner, and my goal is to continue to read through all of these and have this pile gone. But it's a much better process than what I used to have when I had all these shelves and just books scattered everywhere. Over here is probably the biggest shift to the office. I took an old TV, have propped that up where my computers, my personal computer or my work computer sits underneath. So when I'm doing a Zoom call, I can look at the TV and it actually looks like I'm looking at them, even though I'm doing my work on the bigger screen. These are some old tables that I had built when I had my nonprofit. I've helped other teachers build these for their own classroom spaces. They're cheap, they're very sturdy, and they work great for kids to do project building, as well as, in my case, it's working as a stand-up desk. So I've got this stool here, which allows me to sit if I need to, but the stool's not super comfortable, so it does get me to stand up from time to time, and I can still do my Zoom calls and be respectful. And then the way I have it set up is I've got my large pad here, this gamer pad for my mouse and keyboard. I can plug these in right to my device, my headphones and speaker if I need it, and then I can just sit here and do all my work right to the screen. We're doing more and more screen time, right? So having multiple windows and tabs, it's just nice to have a bigger monitor for that. And then I've got my 2 document stations. So I have shared videos of how I built this one here. This is my newest one, which a video will be coming soon, where I've cut into some PVC and laid some acrylic. So your phone just sits right on there for your live streaming or your documents. So now in your Google Meet or your Zoom, I can be here, they can see my face with the push of a button. I can go right here and now I can demo all my writing, my math, my practice, whatever it might be. So this is just a cheap version we put together more for my wife, but it allows us here to be quite flexible in one space. We can bounce between multiple screens, projects, and things that we need, you know. So, and then finally, just my original work thing, a table my dad helped me build, and then this is where I spend most of my time, but at least this is cleaned up. It's more organized than what it's ever been, just because I don't have all the nooks and crannies everywhere. But this is, I do this work. This allows us then to have opportunities to work together, collaborate, and make those things happen. So as we kind of span through here, this has been quite the learning experience for a lot of us. This room used to be just the jack of all trades, and now it's become, in my head, very focused, very streamlined, and all about productivity and efficiency. So this is how remote teaching and remote learning works. If you have any questions, leave a comment, let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to sharing more things here in the future in terms of workflow and how we make sense of all this remote learning and teaching.